Well, here we are once again. It's quite a nice morning, really. But yes, here we are. Welcome, one and all, once again, to a good morning walk on Sunday. Hence, it is the Sunday morning walk. So, yeah, welcome. Like I say, I know I didn't advertise this at all, so... good morning, Sarah, good morning to you. Oh, well, we do have early morning pony. Craig, good morning to you. Like I say, if you click on the like and share button, let people know that we are live on streaming. Helen, good morning to you. Loki's children, good morning to you. Like I say, it's a very, very fresh and crisp, but very bright indeed this morning. Ben Ridings, good morning to you. And like I say, good morning to everyone. Like I say, click on the like, click on the share button. It'll help get us more people in, but wow, we've got a busy couple of weeks coming up, haven't we? Yeah, the next couple of weeks are going to be really busy. In fact, the next 2 weeks. Because first of all, we've got the budget, which I think is going to be a lot, and I mean a lot of stuff to talk about in the budget, both good and bad. And like I say, I think if... Oh, hang on, there we go. Hang on, get around here. There we go. Oh dear. Good job on wearing my wellies. So, good morning, Badger. Good morning. Yeah, exactly. Then we'll have all the Corbynites whining about the budget. Exactly, Craig. You know, I've been saying this for again quite some time. This budget, there's going to be stuff in there I don't like, and I will fully say, when Reeves is doing that, there's going to be stuff in there that I don't like, and I'll admit that. I will say that. But I guarantee you, there's stuff in there that is actually going to be pretty good. You know, the fact that Reeves has changed. Surprise, as I said all along, that once she was in, she was going to end up changing the borrowing rules. You know, changing those fiscal rules so that she's got a better, you know, chance of borrowing stuff. And oh, look, that's exactly what she's done. She's even been supported by the IMF. Who've actually said, no, that's really good that, you know, you're borrowing now for infrastructure spending. So yeah, the budget obviously is going to be the first big thing next week. You know, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, there's going to be stuff in there I don't like. There's going to be stuff in there I think that's going to be pretty good, to be honest. So we'll see. Yeah, ball hat man is now welly boot man. Well, when you're in this type of field, it's this wet, it's good to have a pair of wellies. Sarah Davis, I've spoken to my mental health support worker, and she says she's going to see if she can speak to my new Labour MP about plans for mental health. Again, that's good. I like that kind of stuff. That's the type of thing, you know, I always, you know, say that we need to do. You know, you need to really engage with your MPs, you know, talk with them, you know, talk with them, and they will, you know, they will listen, and they will take your concerns on board. You know, just give them a, you know, talk to them, write to them. Not a lot of people do it, which is why a lot of often people feel that their MPs don't listen to them. And even MPs say, we don't often see enough of our people. There are plenty of MPs who say they will do surgeries and no one will come to them. So, you know, they are there in many ways. However, I also do think that they need to be taking advantage of like digital tools. I think there's a ton of digital stuff. Nope. Cows over there. There's a ton of digital stuff, for example, I think MPs need to take advantage of. And they have. Again, they're really slow to do it. And it's just really strange that they don't. But there you go. What's your opinion of Greece? Greece is a good country. I like Greece. I haven't been to Greece for quite a while, but I do want to go again. So obviously that's the first big thing we've got, and that's happening on Wednesday. So immediately we've got the budget, and then a couple of days later we've got the crowning essentially of Kimmy Badenoch. Because, well, you know, I've been saying this for I don't know how many weeks now. She wins this contest. Like, Kimmy Badenoch absolutely wins this contest hands down. You know, I said it, she makes it to the final two. First to win. Guess what? She's in the final two. And guess what? All the polls are saying she's going to win it. So unless somehow Robert Jerrick pulls off a spectacular comeback, you know, on the day of the vote, highly doubt he's going to win it. So we are going to see the crowning then of Kimmy Badenoch, and then of course the Tory party is going to absolutely lose its mind because they've elected Kimmy Badenoch. And I've been saying this for I don't know how long to you guys. Why on earth would you elect Kimmy Badenoch? She's like the worst, one of the worst MPs out there. She wasn't a very good minister. She horrifically underperformed, according to her own colleagues. And as we have seen, willing to start a fight with an empty room. So, yeah, we're going to get that. a lot, that's for sure. Ugh. What's your opinion on Cambodia? Never been. Never been. If you have a younger MP, they're more likely to engage with you. Again, that's interesting. It doesn't surprise me, actually, that if there's younger MPs, they're probably more willing to engage with you. Yeah, well, this is it. It's not even going to be Kimmy Badenoch responding to the budget. It's going to be Sunak and Jeremy Hunt, and she's saying the reason why they're doing this is because they have like the most experience with like treasury issues. And you're like, hold on, in like 2 days you become leader of the opposition. You then set a new direction for the party. You then decide a whole range of things that the party will do. And yet, you're going to let your predecessor say stuff about the budget that is going to have zero bearing on the rest of your premiership. Well, yeah, that looks bad. That looks really bad. Because it's almost Sunak could say whatever he wants, but no one's going to pay attention to it because in 2 days' time he's not the leader. That is not the leader at all. So whatever he says in response to the budget is pointless because he's not going to be the leader. It's just like, what on earth are you doing? What on earth are you going to do for like those 2 days? It's absolutely pointless. Yeah, off a cliff is the new direction. Exactly, Craig. Exactly. Yeah, oh, well, that's it, Banner. That's it. What will her front bench look like? Oh, my word. It boggles the mind how much they are going to have to really scrape the barrel. Because it's not like there's any, talent really left. You've got 121 MPs to choose from. Some who have now openly said, well, if Labour are going to change the rules about, having a second job, well, I'm off. So there's a big chance that 121 MPs could decrease over the next couple of years. It doesn't really make sense to put someone on your front bench who's gonna then leave. And this is just the absolute state of the party that it's gone into. And at no point no one has said, okay guys, maybe we need to stop and really think about what we're doing. Are we going to actually stop for a second and really think about why we lost and what happened? That's never happened. They still do not understand why they lost the last election. And they've just got absolutely no idea. Yeah, she's putting herself, humiliating herself off for 2 days more. Well, that's one of the things that you've seen the anti-Badnock people say, that when it comes to like economic stuff, she's got no idea. So why embarrass herself now? At least give herself time to get, maybe someone decent. Wouldn't surprise me, by the way. It would not surprise me if she keeps Jeremy Hunt. Like, I would not be surprised if she keeps Jeremy Hunt in that shadow position, just so that she has that experience. Like, will she, won't she? Well, we'll find out in a couple of days, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, like lemmings over a cliff. I approve of the strategy. Exactly. Ben Ridings, Kimmy Badnock will take every position in the cabinet. Yeah, she will take every single position she possibly can. Because I keep on saying it to you, and I've said it before, when she did those comments about maternity leave and wanting to lock up, like, was it 5 to 10% of civil servants, which is roughly like 5,000 civil servants. That wasn't to the rest of the British voting audience. That was to her base. And if you look at what her base was saying in response to that, what many Conservatives were saying in response to that, they were all like, oh my God, it's finally time. We've been saying this for years. Why hasn't someone finally said this? Yeah, the Grant Shapps cabinet. Well, might it be the Michael Gove cabinet? Because this is something else that has been said before, that Kemi Badnock is highly being influenced by Michael Gove. So Michael Gove may end up being sort of the puppet master in the background, sort of pulling all the strings If that ends up happening, who knows? But the other thing to watch will be the One Nationers. Of course, they're going to be very, very upset. They don't like Kimmy Badenoch at all. So they're not going to be the most happiest of campers on this trail that she's about to take them on. So that's something else to watch, what their reaction is going to be over the next couple of years. But mark my words, we'll be doing this contest again in a year or 2 years' time. You know, Kimmy Badenoch will not be taking the Conservatives into the next general election. They will be switching leader again very quickly, because they have still not addressed all the fundamental reasons as to why they lost, why they're such a hated party, why no one wants to listen to them anymore. They just don't understand. They just don't understand. So, doesn't surprise me. Yeah, Gove he's been very busy trying to rehabilitate his image. That's very true. Like I say, he's the editor of The Spectator now. So no doubt we'll be seeing some column inches written by him in the not too distant future. But remember, Gove has his own think tank called Onward, which he is trying to use to influence the Conservative Party. How much influence it has, of course, is another question. If you know how factional the Conservative Party is really at the moment, well, it's a bit fractured. It's a bit fractured. But that will be something else that will happen after Kimmy Badenoch wins. Back to the factional infighting. And it's going to be even worse now, because Bob Blackman raised the threshold of the 1922 committee. So you now need 41 letters, where it was just 18. And the thing is while that is going to be harder, there's now going to be, I think, prompting a lot more MPs to now send their letter in. Because the theory all was last time, with it being so low, that unless they really wanted to get rid of their leader, you know, everyone would send their letters in. But if there was a bit of hesitation about it, then people wouldn't send their letters in, you know, for the threshold being so low. That's why the threshold was so low for so long, thinking, oh, well, you know, if we keep it low, it'll stop people sending letters in. You know, it'll make MPs think twice about, you know, changing leader. But now I think that they've raised the threshold. I think it's going to be the opposite now. I think you're going to get a lot more MPs, a lot more willing to send their letters in to try and meet that threshold. And I'll tell you this now, Kimmy Badenoch loses probably all confidence with the party very, very quickly. There'll be a very short honeymoon period. It's Kimmy Badenoch. She'll say or do something silly or ridiculous, almost, if not immediately. I mean, her maiden speech as leader is going to be interesting to see what she says. Because remember, they've all been talking about unity. Unity, unity, unity. But none have actually said how they're actually going to achieve said unity from the party. So, will they be able to do it? I don't think so. I don't think so. And you're going to see her lose. probably control the party very, very quickly. Very, very quickly indeed. And she's not going to be able to perform because she's not a good politician. You know, she's not, you know, the second coming of Margaret Thatcher, as a lot of her supporters have been saying. You know, I don't like Margaret Thatcher, obviously coming from Yorkshire. But at least Margaret Thatcher actually had, you know, political sense. You know, she was actually quite the political animal. She knew how to do politics. Timmy Badenoch has never shown any kind of aptitude to be able to do politics, except talk about culture war stuff. And as we've said before, culture war stuff has never been brought in to the UK. It's never been adopted. No one cares about the culture war stuff and arguments. No one does. It's a very small percentage, and guess what? It doesn't win you votes. It doesn't win them votes at all. No, since we're here, by the way, if you are members of the National Trust, you will be getting your AGM leaflets. If not now, if not in the next couple of weeks. Oh, hang on. That is the heron. Can we see him? Ah, no, missed him. Missed him. But yes, you'll be getting your National Trust forms. And whatever you do, make sure that you are voting against these Restore Trust lunatics. Because if they even get the slightest majority on here, you will probably see the biggest sell-off of public land to private entities. And they only ever need to get that majority once to do it. And they could do a lot of damage, and it will be almost next to impossible to undo. Let me get down here. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, good morning to everyone joining us, by the way. Please do hit the like and share button. There we go. Like I say, please do hit the like and share button. You know, welcome to the Sunday Good Morning Walk. There is the super chats are open, etc. if you want to support the channel like that. But like I say, thank you very much to everyone who does help just by clicking the like and share button. Helps out massively. But yes, good morning to all the people joining us as well, by the way. So yeah, it's honestly crazy, the fact that they are going to try and do this again, but Farage is getting involved this time. So this is the worry point where people might, you know, maybe take a bit of the UKIP stuff. Nicholas, good morning to you. So yeah, if you are a member of the National Trust, please do vote against these Restore Trust lunatics. Or if you know someone who's a member of the National Trust, like I say, I did a video about the upcoming AGM, who to vote against and why, very recently. So, you know, go share that video with them, or at least talk with them about it. Because there's such low engagement with the AGM. This is why they think they can take over it. It's exactly like the UKIP days, of the European Parliament days. There was such low voter turnout and engagement of it that all you need is a very small, dedicated voter base to motivate them and get them out to go and vote. And well, we know how that turned out, unfortunately. Voting emails apparently went out a month ago. So get voting if you haven't already. Like I say, if you are a member, it would be, if they even got a majority on the board, it would be like, the biggest sell-off of public land to private entities we've ever seen. So once something like that happens, it's almost next to impossible to reverse. So if you do know anyone who's a National Trust member, get them voting, ask them if they have voted, and of course join the National Trust so that you can vote next year. Because honestly, they are going to be doing this again and again and again until they get in, because it's about building that voter base, building that regular voting block for them, and all they need is just the majority of one, and all of a sudden we've lost a lot of public land in one go. So do be very, very aware that is a real possibility that could happen if they get in. And like I say, by that point it's sort of too late. So do sound the alarm bell if you know anyone who is a member of the National Trust. Can't we nationalise the National Trust? It's a charity. Can't really nationalise a charity. But yeah, it would be incredibly hard to undo the damage that these Restore Trust lunatics would do, if they gain control. Like I say, they only need to do it once. They only need to do it once and they're in. Oh, number 3, good morning to you. Like I say, good morning everyone else joining us as well. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Badger. It is a problem. It is very, very much a problem. There we go, hold on, let me get through this. This is the worst part about doing, when you're outside your morning walk. During summer months, it's great. However, now it's turning into winter. The ground is very quickly turning very muddy. It becomes a lot more difficult to navigate on this front. There you go. Onwards and upwards, up a hill. So yeah, like I say, big week, big couple of weeks, as we said at the beginning. Budget, then Tory election, and then almost immediately you are then in the final countdown for the US election. So we've got a very, Very busy couple of weeks. Hang on. Nicholas, do you think the budget will do anything to bring down energy prices? Could it be the rabbit is now out of the hat that fixes the winter fuel payment boosts now industrial growth? We'll see. Obviously, one of the biggest problems that's actually caused an increase in electricity prices is Brexit. Because even European companies are saying, yeah, we want to renegotiate the Brexit deal because the system you've set up is just completely inefficient for trading electricity. So when you've got European companies pushing to renegotiate the Brexit deal, then yeah, you know it's bad. But they've said that they can even do it without having to reopen the negotiations. There's a different way around they can do it now. We did a video about it a couple of weeks ago about this, so if you're interested in that, go watch that. But we've talked before about now, you know, Labour really sort of wanting to invest in like green technologies, these green offshore wind stuff, you know, really pump up, you know, the actual infrastructure of the national grid. You know, really get to tackle that, which is something that has been very, very much long needed. Just the Tories haven't done it. The Tories banned offshore wind farms and then didn't really do any infrastructure spending. So the national grid just has to, well, deal with what they've had, essentially. So I do think there will be, you know, stuff in the budget, but it will all be about, you know, developing sort of the green technologies and things like that, you know, making sure that we've got the right investment stuff set up for it. You know, a lot of people on the left take the mickey out of GB Energy, but that's the type of thing that we need. You know, a governmental organisation that is going to specifically go forward and drive investment into green technologies. You know, that is a fundamental good. But again, a lot of lefties just don't like it, just because, and it's a Starmer thing. You know, and it's not like the Green Party was saying something like that a couple of years ago, but, you know, no one really pays attention to what the Green Party say anyway. Oh. Not really. I mean, there's a lot of studies out there that do show, you know, electric cars are going to be very crucial to sort of reducing our emissions in CO2. And the technology for electric cars has only gotten better. Only gotten infinitely better for a lot of this stuff. So it's only going to get now better and better and better. You know, it's not just Elon Musk now, you know, designing what are, well, substandard, very electric vehicles, which is, bear in mind, where a lot of the why electric cars are so bad, you know, actually comes from. You'll notice actually a lot of that has dropped off recently because Elon Musk has become so right-wing. So they're not interested in attacking his interests anymore. Especially when it comes to electric vehicles. And of course, speaking of Elon Musk, I've got to at some point probably doing a video probably later today about those revelations about Musk speaking to Vladimir Putin, which, from a guy who has, national security clearance, if I were Biden, I'd be revoking that. Like, I would be getting rid of that immediately, and start questioning all his governmental contracts and all those subsidies that he has. Because if Musk ever loses the all those subsidies that he has from the US government, he's screwed. Like, he is screwed. Tesla stock's already in an absolutely terrible state. It's only going to get worse if he loses all those subsidy grants. But yeah, we'll see if that gets investigated. I hope it does. But then we've also heard that even Donald Trump has been doing this. Having private conversations, with Putin without anyone in the room, so we don't even know, what was discussed. Why do you think Musk is suddenly buddies with Trump suddenly? Because he thinks he can get power. He thinks he'll have influence on the administration. He's just doing it for a power play. That's all. He thinks he can, guide Trump in the right direction, which will be, of course, entirely to his interests. There we go. Nice big splash. No, exactly. He's hedging his bets on that Trump getting in and now keeping that government cash rolling. Exactly. He knows if he can get Trump in, he can get all those subsidies, probably even more subsidies than he would get. Whether, I think, if you're Harris, maybe it's time to review all those subsidies. Maybe it's time to sort of revoke those, those national things. Maybe you actually, investigate Musk for these conversations, pull him into an office and say, right, you had these conversations. We want to tell you, we want you to tell us exactly what you said and when, Maybe even start, bugging Musk's phones and conversations for his, just start seeing what he's saying to people. I wouldn't be surprised if it's already happening. Because if he's now considered a serious security threat, then, would not surprise me if it's already happening. But of course, if Trump gets in, that stops immediately. Christopher, good morning to you from Canada. Like I say, good morning everyone joining us today. Nice good morning walk. Where in the UK are we from? Well, from Barnsley. Look at this. Look at this wonderful scenery. Like I say, we are broadcasting you right from the heart of Yorkshire, in Barnsley. The best town in all the UK. And yes, I am biased. Craig, yes, Harris would obviously keep those subsidies because they're covering just more than Musk. But yeah, his national security stuff would be gone. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole... that's something worth actually talking about. The CHIP Act and the Inflation Reduction Act gave a huge pile of subsidies out there, like to attract companies. And this is something that is going to negatively affect our economy, on this front. When Rishi Sunak announced, I think it was £1 billion to try and compete to keep like chip manufacturers in the UK, and you had all these UK chip manufacturers or other companies saying, well, why are we staying? Because you're offering us like a subsidy that is worth like next to nothing compared to what we were to get in America. What we should be doing is what the Japanese are doing, because for that exact same amount of money, they are building a nationalized chip production factory, and that's exactly what we should be doing. Remember, for the exact same amount of money that Rishi Sunak spent on all those subsidies, we could be building a nationalized chip production factory, and we're not, because Rishi Sunak is a fool, really. Oh, but the other thing that needs to happen is, yes, Ben Houchen, the National Audit Office, now needs to, I think, go in and have a look at what's going on there. It wouldn't surprise me if they found a lot of stuff for that. Would not surprise me if they found a lot of, shall we say, dodgy dealings going on the Teesside Freeport. And the other exciting news is, by the way, I don't know how many people have heard this, because this sort of sneaked out very quietly, but Labour are now considering undoing the gerrymandering that the Tories did over local mayoral elections, Mayor of London election, because they all turned it from either the single transferable vote or ranked choice voting. I think it was in for mayoral elections. I think it was ranked choice voting, what it used to be. But of course, they changed it to, or at least to first past the post, because it favoured them more. And Labour's now looking at undoing those, reverting those changes. If only they would do the same for the rest of the voting system. Have a really good look at the UK voting system. That would be very good. Yeah. Yeah. Oh well, honestly, farming subsidies is something that needs to be looked at. Needs to be greatly looked at, honestly, because the Tories version that they introduced, the environmental land management system, was just, the ELAMs, was just fundamentally flawed, awful. Something that Labour really need to take a look at. Really need to take a look at. Because again, that could help reduce food prices massively if we really had a look at that. And again, I think really helping farmers on this is definitely something that needs to happen. Because a lot of farmers are very worried about their future. A lot of small farmers especially. But yeah, farm subsidies is something definitely needs to be looked at. But again, I'm not knowledgeable about that type of stuff. This is where I could do with having a chat with like Liz Webster. she is part of the Farmers for the EU group, or Farmers Against Brexit. I can't remember exactly what the name of the group is, but yeah, I could do with having a talk with her maybe at some point about sort of like what the consequences have really been, on UK farming. And of course, well, until eventually, we do rejoin, what needs to be done between, that now and then, and what policies, Labour could do to help support farming. That's it. Save British farming. That's it. I knew it was something. I couldn't remember what it was. What about a walk and talk with Liz Webster? That wouldn't be a bad idea, actually. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Do a live stream with her. We'll see what we get. But no, I could do with sort of reaching out to her, just see if we can have a chat. She's definitely very, very knowledgeable about this stuff. So it'd be useful having a chat with someone like her, on this topic. Another good thing, actually, potentially that's going to happen on Wednesday, fully funding of HS2, which, hooray! Hooray, at last. Yes, been a long, long time coming, but it looks like we are really going to get some proper good motivation out in HS2. So it's going to get fully funding, and they're going to set up a ministerial department dedicated to more oversight for HS2. So they've got, more to say, on that type of stuff. So I think that is, quite frankly, good direction to go in for HS2. And I've said before, we need to get HS2 really built, but not HS2, HS3, 4, 5 and 6 as well. Now, all these plans have been there for years. We just need to build them, because it's vital infrastructure that needs building. Of course, not just that, sewers as well, another one that needs really, really looking at. Oh. There you go. Show off some ponies. But yeah, a lot of these really vital infrastructure projects have been ignored for years under the Tories, and it's about time they needed to be rebuilt. So yes, it's a busy couple of weeks coming up. A real busy couple of weeks coming up in terms of this. Probably the most consequential one is obviously going to be the US election. Because God, I hope Trump doesn't win. But if he does win, there are going to be a lot of consequences, a lot of very, very bad consequences for a whole series of situations around the world, because Trump is just not equipped to deal with them. And unlike last time, the people that are around him this time are even more lunatic, fanatical than Trump. So, yeah. Please vote for Harris. Please let her win. Otherwise, it's going to be a very bad time for a lot of people around the world, unfortunately. But Like I say, thank you very much for joining me this morning on today's Good Morning Walk. And like I say, thank you very much everyone for joining me. So if you have enjoyed today, obviously please do click on the like and share button. Down below there are links to my Patreon page, the one donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. There's the Pony Club down below too that you can join as well. Help support the channel. Super chats, super thank yous, etc. All that good stuff down below. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for joining me today. Go out, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. You know, do what you do on a Sunday. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.